Welcome back to Heart of the Hustle with Dr. Patrick Wolk. Today, we're very lucky to have an amazing business leader here from the community, Lenny Saizan. Lenny Saizan, tell us a little bit about your businesses. I know you're currently working with the Murphy business, and also where we met was the Urban Capital Network. And I think that's really an amazing business that you've started out. And really, if you could tell us a little bit about what's going on with those businesses, tell us a little bit more, and you inform the audience of what I've learned, in regard to your Urban Capital Network. I really think that's an amazing opportunity. I think our audience would really love to hear about it.
Sure, thank you. Thanks for having me. So Murphy Business Sales and Urban Capital Network complement each other very well. I started Murphy Business Sales first about 5, maybe 6 years ago now, and it's part of a franchise system. I had just recently gotten laid off in corporate America working for an oil and gas company, and it was like my second layoff within 2 years and my fourth overall, and I realized I needed to do something different. So along the way, I started out my career as an electrical engineer, and along the way, I got an MBA. And during the time while I was getting my MBA, I became interested in M&A. And I found an opportunity through this franchise that I can create my own path to M&A. So I bought a Murphy Business Sales franchise. And what we do is we work with business owners who are looking to exit or sell their business, and I help them maximize the value, prepare for the sale, and just carry them through the process from beginning to the end, all the way from actually marketing the business to making it to the closing table and vetting buyers and all of the activities around that. Not long after I started Murphy Business Sales, I had an opportunity to get involved in angel investing. And me and a partner, we first put together a couple of syndicates through SPVs, special purpose vehicles, to invest in early stage companies. And we did it once, and we did it twice. And then we realized there may be a business opportunity there. And then also what we noticed is that after we invested in these companies at a very early stage, once they started growing and they got traction and VC backing, it was harder to get an allocation to participate in those further rounds after the initial seed stage. So what we did with Urban Capital Network is we formed a platform, and through relationships with venture capital companies, we've created a model where we democratize venture-backed, high premium type of investment opportunities, and we make it affordable, de-risk, and diversify for more people to get involved. So typically, once a startup company is venture backed, the minimum investment is $250,000. And even if you have that, you have to know someone to get in. So we've kind of broken down some barriers to help people get in at a lower investment threshold. And now they can participate in these wealth generating opportunities.
That's amazing. And you're in your fourth fund, is that correct?
Yes, we just closed our fourth fund, and we've done 4 in about 18 months. And they're typically smaller funds. And I use the term fund and SPV synonymously. So, our funds average around $1.5 million. I mean, the latest one we did was actually closer to 2.5. So we're kind of getting bigger and bigger. But there's some SEC regulations and things like that really put some constraints on what we can do.
And you recently invested in a SPAC, is that correct?
Yes. I'm very excited about that SPAC opportunity. So we were part of the sponsor group for the SPAC. And what that means is we were in before the SPAC even IPO'd. So we got in and with some founder shares, and we have some warrants, and we were able to open that up to our entire investor network. And we're really, really excited about that. We feel really good about the investment thesis of the SPAC or the acquisition thesis of the SPAC. And, just to give the audience a little bit more color on what a SPAC is, it's a shell company that goes public with the intent to purchase a private company. Thereby, the private company becomes public. So now we're just sitting back waiting for the acquisition of some company that the SPAC is looking to buy. There's probably a few of them out there, but the one we're in is e-commerce driven.
Okay. Very exciting.
Yep.
Very, very exciting.
Yep.
So if you don't mind, let's go back to the beginning, where the early roots. I'm always very interested in how people started out their entrepreneurship journey. And I hear that you were a DJ at one time. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah. So, I started DJing probably in junior high. It was really early when DJing was really popular. Now it was just becoming popular. Now it's really popular, and now it's digital. Almost anybody can do it. But back then we used vinyl records, 2 turntables.
Wow.
I come from the old school when it comes to DJing, and I turned that into a business eventually. So by the time I was a junior in high school, I was DJing parties. I was DJing at school events. And I took that to college with me as well. And it really paid my way through college, not necessarily tuition and things like that, but I never had another job in college. So I was having fun and DJing at probably some of the parties I would have gone to anyway. But now I was getting paid to be there. And it was really a good thing for me while I was in college. And I probably would have never stopped had I not started traveling once I got my engineering degree.
And the engineering degree helped lead you to doing IT. Is that correct?
Yeah. So my degree is in electrical engineering, and I was always exposed to technology through engineering. And I started out as an electrical engineer doing systems automation and controls, low voltage integration, and I did a lot of software as well, a lot of development, so coding. And I did, at one point, I had an IT consulting business that didn't last very long. I was just gaining some traction. I started the business while I was in New Orleans, and just right before Hurricane Katrina, I was supposed to deliver my biggest project to probably my biggest customer at the time, which wasn't very big, but it was big for me. And I think I was supposed to deliver that project to the customer on a Monday, and I think that's when Katrina hit on that Monday. So it's just wiped out all of my clients as well as my business. So yeah, everything just kind of fell apart there. And then I evacuated here to the Houston area and took the first corporate job I could get.
Wow, that's amazing. And during Katrina, I know, our audience and myself have been through a lot of challenges in my life, but you had also mentioned to me that during that period of time, not only had you lost your business, but you had also lost your relationship. Is that correct?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was talk about, everything happening at one time. So right around the time of Hurricane Katrina, my wife at the time told me that she wanted a divorce, which was totally unexpected. So, that was probably, she had maybe mentioned it sometime that year, maybe 3 or 4 months, but we were kind of working towards a resolution. So, at least I was anyway. And then I think the Friday before Hurricane Katrina hit, she was like, I can't work on this anymore. Yeah. So it was like, oh, okay, I had to deal with an emotional hurricane, a physical hurricane, all at once, and then, once the hurricane hit, we evacuated together with our kids. And I thought that maybe this could, bring us back together, make us realize that, hey, life is short. We need to work through this. But eventually, it didn't make it. So, and it didn't spark anything back too. So Yeah, I started all over with everything from that point on. Everything. I mean, I lost everything. I lost my relationship. I lost my business. So I was starting from ground zero.
It's amazing, and
Yeah.
and this is really a great story of renewal. I mean, you can really see in your life, you go from DJing to IT, and even in the worst times of Katrina and in relationships, you're willing to always go back and restart and rebrand yourself and refine something in your life.
Mm-hmm.
When you look back in your life, is there some things that you'd want to share with our audience? I always ask my guests to share golden nuggets or those pieces of wisdom when you look back and to say, these are things that I want other people to know, and I want them to learn from my experience. Is some things you'd like to share with us?
Yeah. One big thing for me, going through everything, going through layoffs, going through a divorce, losing businesses, I realized that, nothing is guaranteed, and you have control over very little in your life. But you do have control over your actions and your attitude, and you have to own it. You can't depend on anyone else to provide the resources you need to be successful. There's always people out there who can help, but you cannot depend on anyone but yourself. And you have to know who you are as well. And I think once you start losing things that you're connected to and tied to, especially something like a relationship, that was part of you, and you may lose a little bit of yourself. But when you know who you are, and you learn not to have to depend on something else in your life to define who you are. And that was difficult for me initially. So once I realized that I am who I am, independent of what I do, who I'm in a relationship with, that really helped me to pull my bootstraps up and focus on my personal development, which I really needed.
That's an absolutely powerful and beautiful lesson to share with our audience. Well, I think that's all the time we have for today. Okay. And Lenny, I want to say a big appreciation to you. Lenny coming in from Murphy Business and Urban Capital Network. And I'll look forward to seeing you again on Heart of the Hustle.